know. Couple of weeks ago, 28 degrees, 30 degrees centigrade. Perfect. Evenings warming up. And since then, it's cooled down. Still lovely during the day, but the evenings, being in that bus, it's the same temperature in there as it is outside. So I've had to get some more pellets. I guess I'll get a few more days staring at a flame, but it will be warming up, I think, by the end of the week. Now, in the last video, a number of you mentioned about Chris's weight. You may not know, but he's only been with us since February last year. I got him from a rescue home and he was in terrible condition, but the vets did give him the pass. Very close to starvation. And I've obviously been monitoring him and making sure that he's good and healthy. Long-term wise, who knows? But I can only give him the best life I possibly can. And it did take quite a while for him to learn how to play with Will. But he's fitted in nicely. He's doing well. I'm not worried. The vets are happy. And, well, let's just hope that he has a long, healthy, happy life. Well, it's starting to pull together now. It's looking very fresh. 2 coats of paint on there. Very clean. I've been playing around with colours for this house. And the lovely thing with this sort of house is that it allows for multiple tones. And there's going to be a strip along the bottom, and of course that section along the top I can add a different colour there. It'll be 1 or 2 colours, and then a different colour around the windows and doors. And given the environment that I'm in, I'm actually able to play around a little bit with these colours that in the past I may not have liked. But I've been quite surprised by what I am liking at the moment. Seeing it on a computer screen is very different to reality. But I will fix on that further down the line, and the darker colour, I can use it up on the roof. Isn't bad for the first layer. When I was doing it in the dark, I had to leave it a little bit of time so I could sponge it down, and well, no idea what it was going to look like. Looking at it now, not too bad. It's going to need another layer or 2 on there, but I didn't do around here. That's what I've got to do now. Save the hardest till last. Why not, Andy? The layout of the house I'm fixed now. This is how it's going to be, and I think this is going to work. It suits me, and there's so many things I'd have taken into consideration. Pretty much gone back to the original idea that I had, which often is the case, but it's good to play around. I'm using this website called Floor Planner, 2D, 3D, and I can put stuff in there, and it was relatively easy to use. But I've been doing it in the evenings between cooking and eating, and I've really enjoyed it, shoving furniture in there, but I got no idea how to make it walk around. So, well, this gives you a good idea, doesn't it? And furniture-wise, it's only what was available. But if I can get anywhere close to that, I think I'll be pretty pleased with it. So the key factors are, number 1, it's not a big house, and I want the rooms to feel as airy as possible. But there also needs to be storage, something that in the past I've neglected, and I think I've managed to get that more or less in here given the size. Front room is the bathroom, and then that, obviously I want to get everything in it, so that was important, and I've had to take up a little bit of what would have been the pantry, but I'm happy with that. Now what was the pantry is now going to be a little cupboard holding the washing machine, the tumble dryer, and a boiler, and maybe the vacuum cleaner. It's not very big, but hey ho, small house. And the kitchen is where I've been going around in circles a little bit here, but I think it works best there. And I know I turned the window into a door. Now it's going to go back to a window again. That's life. And who doesn't like a sink with a window looking down the garden, eh? Living area, obviously it's the focal point of the house with the patio doors, lets the light in, and of course with the wood burner in there, that's going to spread heat through the house. And one thing I learned from the village house is with the insulation in the ceiling is that they only had the pellet burner on a few times through the winter. So I'm taking that on board. I've not only got insulation in the roof, but it will be above the ceiling. So there we go. Underfloor heating, that really is, I think, a luxury. And it would be nice, but anyway, I'm going back to a normal floor here, and I've got the pellet burner at the end of the day. I can add that in if I need to. The corridory space between the living room and the side door, great for storage, and that's probably going to be the main access in and out of the house. When it comes to the bedrooms, not really the most important thing. As long as they're comfortable, feel good, and you get a good night's sleep, That is the key thing. And I can use one of those rooms as my little studio. So I've got 2 bedrooms potentially, good spaces, an area to walk around. Okay, storage would be nice of a bit more, but there is also the outside to take into consideration. So let's see if we can make this look fairly similar to this, if not better. That would be nice. Leave that for about 30 minutes, come back, put the foam on it and sponge it down, and hopefully I'll get it as good as this side before it gets too dark. It's always a dream of mine to live sort of in a wooded area on a roof where I could lean over and touch the branches. That's really something. And of course they are going to be overhanging the roof area here, and a number of you said last week, would it help if you cut them down? That pollen and the leaves that are leaving stains on the wall and streaking down the side there, well, it probably would help, and then again it probably wouldn't. And then it kind of defeats the object, because that's, as far as I'm concerned, is part and part the parcel of living in this sort of environment. And I don't really want to be staring at stumps for the sake of a streak going down the wall. That can be fixed. And I know there are some branches above me now that in the winter time potentially will fall down and possibly do some damage to the wall, but I'll just fix it. And that colour will probably go darker further down the line once I've chosen the house colours, and that will camouflage it a little bit. It's showing up more on this concrete surface, of course. On painted surfaces it'll probably wash off a little bit easier, but that's all part of the character. Here on the roof, while I'm here, I am planning on putting a railing, I have mentioned this before, all the way round with holes in it. I've got to create that somehow. On paper it works, but in practice, who knows? But having a sprinkler system up here is just another level, I guess, of protection. We'll see how that one goes. Probably worth me pointing out now as well with my videos, because I know I've had new people joining more recently. Thank you very much for watching. I'm not trying to show anybody how to do anything. I will mention the materials that I use. I'm literally just showing you how I'm doing it basically, and that's it as far as it goes. But moving on, once this is done, I move on to the next thing. I then don't worry about these sort of things afterwards, just maintenance. And that's what you've got to do, isn't it? You've got to maintain things that you own. But once I've moved on from one thing, life's too short. Almost forgot to show you this. So I've given it a layer of the fibre stuff, and I don't think it needs any more than that. I'm pretty pleased with it. So that now is everything in place, ready for me to start doing the tiles. Go on then. Definitely feels like it's warming up, end of the week. Hopefully it'll be a bit more consistent. I really wanted to get that roof started this week with the tiles, but we do live in the real world. There is a reality. Things needed to be done first in order for me to start and not have any complications. And we have had the chances of rain during the course of this week. Laying tiles down, I've done many times, but on a roof, well, my second house, that had a pitch on it. Of course, it was a flat roof. It was 50 square meters, and I did that in about 3 days. But the pitch was perfect on that, and it was only going in one direction. This one, the pitches are all over the place. 1% to 2% is the norm. 1 centimetre every metre. Not a lot, you can barely feel it, if at all. I've been up on the roof with a laser level, marking it all off and measuring it. Maybe I'll have to adjust it, maybe I won't. Tile adhesive should be able to do it, but when I get started, I'm sure it'll be fine. But right now, getting that motivation, we all have that, don't we? I'm ready to go. Hopefully by the end of next week, I'll get that done with the grout on there, get some furniture up there, and we'll have a good clean space. And then we can move down into the house and start there. So yeah, I hope you can join me on the next video. Thanks for watching me on this one. Take care, look after yourselves.